Emotion. A seven-letter word that can have a drastic impact on your life. Emotion is powerful. It can lead you to incredible highs. It can also lead you to dangerous lows. When you're a young man, for the first time in your life, you meet a woman who shows high interest in you. Your emotions take over. You're riding high, the sun is brighter, the leaves are greener, the booze tastes better. Nothing can bring you down off of your emotional high. Few months later, when the girl inevitably breaks up with you, you hit rock bottom emotionally. The sun's darker. The booze goes from something you use to have fun with your friends to a coping mechanism. Once you hit that dark place emotionally once or twice, you learn as a dude to control your emotions. Now, when you meet the woman with high interest, you're better prepared to keep things in perspective. You don't allow your emotions to take over. Keep yourself in check. Controlling your emotions also comes with age, with wisdom, or at least it's supposed to come with age. Clearly, that is not the case with everyone. Case in point, Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard is a 49-year-old man with the emotional maturity of a 19-year-old kid. Matter of fact, I think Juwan Howard had better emotional control at 19 years old as part of the Fab Five at Michigan than he has as their damn head coach. Yesterday afternoon, Michigan was playing Wisconsin. Late in the game, Wisconsin coach Greg Gard called a timeout. Now, at that point, the game had already been decided. Wisconsin was up double digits with no time really left for Michigan to catch up. Juwan Howard, he took offense to this, a slap in the face, if you will. So once the game ended, he handles the situation like any 13-year-old emotional teenager would handle it. First of all, what the hell's he doing wearing a damn mask? I guess Juwan Howard didn't get the memo. The COVID is over. Wearing a mask is no longer a symbol that you're woke. It is now a symbol that you're a dumbass. Last night, Jemele Hill inserted her baseless, biased opinion into the Juwan Howard situation. She insinuated that she was being pressed by so many people on Twitter to opine on the issue, meaning she was asked by the same number of people who listened to her podcast, 3. I don't have the energy to fully get into the Juwan Howard situation. I have spent the weekend trying to find something to offend me. With that being said, Juwan Howard should not be fired. He should be suspended. Once again, Jemele Hill is 100% wrong. Juwan Howard should have been fired immediately after that game yesterday for a variety of reasons. Number one, this dude's responsible for the development of young men. This is not the NBA, where the head coach is managing egos. NBA head coaches are not responsible for personal development of their players, personal growth. Now, players may look to their head coach for leadership in basketball, but in most cases, they're not looking to him for leadership in life. The main job of a college coach is obviously to win, but they're also responsible for developing these kids, leading by example. What kind of example did Juwan Howard set yesterday? Coaches are supposed to be the men breaking up the fight between the players, not instigating it. Go back and watch the clip I just showed you and look at what happened after Juwan Howard slapped Greg Gard. Go look at what happened. His players followed his lead. You can see a Michigan player shoving a player from Wisconsin and throwing a punch at him. If what happened yesterday was out of character for Juwan Howard, if this were a one-off incident, then maybe Michigan could justify suspending him. If someone like Coach K, for example, had done this, you could justify a suspension. Coach K has been coaching at Duke longer than I've been alive. He has a reputation as a high character coach. It would be out of character for him to act this way. That's not the case with Juwan Howard. This dude has a history of being unable to control his emotions. Check out what happened last year against Maryland.
Technical, but here is what happened. See Juwan Howard starting to yell out something at the other side, and then there was some jawing back and forth between he and Mark Turgeon. Look at this. I mean, it got really testy, Sean.
It did, and the officials did a good job of stepping in before what was a bad situation. It could have gotten progressively worse. And now, what is always a tough job if you're an official, especially at this level, this became even more so because you're going to have to make sure that what happened as we went to break doesn't seep over.
You look at the assistants that had to keep Juwan Howard back.
Once again, an altercation with an opposing head coach. Who knows what the hell would have happened if Juwan Howard hadn't been restrained by his assistant coaches? That situation justified a suspension. Maryland's head coach, he said Juwan Howard was yelling, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." This dude's threatening to kill someone over a basketball game. If you're the parent of a 4 or 5-star recruit, is this the man you want coaching your kid? After that game last year, Juwan Howard explained his mindset during that altercation, and his explanation was extremely telling. He said, "I went into defense mode, forgetting exactly where I'm at." I take people at their word. You know what Juwan Howard just told me? In times of pressure, in times of anger, when emotions are running high, Juwan Howard sees red. He can't control himself. He just said, "I forget where I'm at." That's a dangerous mentality to have. This is the man you want leading young men in college basketball? Well, KC, Bobby Knight was unable to control his emotions, and he was allowed to coach for decades. Yeah. Bobby Knight would not be coaching college basketball in today's era. You could get away with a hell of a lot more in the 80s and 90s than you can get away with today. I will give you another example of Juwan Howard being unable to control himself. Check out what happened last Thursday night.
He thinks he's going to win that battle every single time.
Juwan picked it up. He picked it up in the replay. Look at, he's in wrong side.
Look, this is going to be interesting. I don't know if...
After that game, Juwan Howard claimed, "Oh, I just had a brain fart." He claimed his instincts kicked in. He wasn't locked in on the game. The head coach is not locked in on the game. The head coach is unable to control his instincts, unable to control himself. Now, I know that example is a bit lighthearted. And again, if this were a one-off and out-of-character situation, we could laugh this off as Juwan Howard simply having a brain fart. But it's not. This is who he is. How many times does Juwan Howard have to show Michigan his character? When someone shows you who they are, you don't ignore it. I'm sure Juwan Howard's charming. I'm sure he's the nicest guy when he's calm. You know who else has those same characteristics? Domestic abusers. Go listen to women who are victims of domestic violence. They all have similar stories. "I don't understand. He was so loving and charming 5 minutes ago. Then I dropped my water on the floor and he snapped." People like Juwan Howard, all it takes is one minor slip up and they go from 0 to 100, loses his temper. How do you think his players feel around him? Are they walking on eggshells? Is the atmosphere in the locker room tense? If this is how Juwan Howard responds to high-pressure situations on national television, if this is how he responds to perceived slights or disrespect on national television, I wonder how he responds when the cameras aren't around. After that altercation against Maryland last year, Juwan Howard used the excuse that he's from the south side of Chicago. "I was raised to handle situations with violence." At 19 years old, I could understand that. At 49 years old, that excuse doesn't cut it. You have had over 30 years to fix issues from your childhood. The truth is, Juwan Howard has no business coaching college basketball. He doesn't belong on the sidelines. He belongs on the couch in a therapist's office. You look at his tenure as Michigan's head coach, these things keep escalating. Yet the University of Michigan, they refuse to take action, much like the NCAA did with Leah Thomas pushing the decision off to USA Swimming. Michigan issued a statement saying, "We are investigating, but we are waiting to hear from the Big Ten on what we should do." Waiting to hear from the Big Ten? What the hell are you waiting on? Why the hell do you need an investigation? This dude's on video slapping a head coach and instigating what could have been a brawl between teams. You have all the evidence you need. Not only has Juwan Howard showed you, he's told you his first instinct in an altercation is to react with physical violence. How much more proof do you need? I don't give a fuck what Jemele Hill says. Juwan Howard should be fired. Let me know what you guys think. Should Juwan Howard be fired? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.